Brothers and sisters and viewers of the world, thank you for joining us here at Radio Eugene, Godfried International and Television. I am your host, Eugene Godfried, and we want to take you to the Netherlands Antilles, to Curazao in particular, as the Dutch colonized the territory in the Caribbean, where there are quite some movements going on and quite some insecurity also for the peoples of those islands, since the Dutch government has planned a recolonization project to sort of deal with financial problems that those territories have. But of course there are social groups and social initiatives on the island who are in action against the Dutch intentions. And to our desk we have been receiving quite some information from Curazao, and one of them, a very special one, reached us recently from Frank Martinez Arion, outstanding man of literature and a political scientist of long-term practice within Curazao and the Dutch territories, a papimentologist above all. But on this occasion we have received a letter, a very long one, a lengthy letter, which was sent to the United Nations, calling for intervention by the United Nations. We have the letter right here with us on the computer, and of course we're going to share parts of it with you, listening brothers and sisters, and you viewers of Radio Eugene, Godfried International, all over the world. It says, the political structure of the Netherlands Antilles originates in the statute of the kingdom. It is the legal principle of the position of our country in the Dutch kingdom. Before the signing of this statute, as well as after the signing, the island of Curazao has been and is still the most important agency in the constellation of the Netherlands Antilles. The statute was introduced in the year 1954. However, this form of cooperation for development did not lead to the kind of progress foreseen by the Dutch government, due to the multiple factors and reasons, partly caused by our way of doing things and partly because of Holland. In the final agreement, the slotverklaring in the Dutch language, must not be seen as coming from the free own will of the people of Curazao, due to the fact that the final agreement goes against the will of the people to conduct their internal affairs autonomously. The final agreement has no space for the people of Curazao to conduct common interests on a basis of equality. This is why the final agreement is to be rejected, and well by Curazao as by the United Nations. At the referendum held in 2005, the people of Curazao voted for an autonomous status, which means automatically the freedom to make their own decisions on matters of internal affairs. If on the contrary they will controlled by the Dutch government on affairs that are strictly internal, there will be no self-government, no real autonomy, but a situation to be compared with an empty bullet. There is no doubt that the rejection of the final agreement of the Curazao government is backed up by the Charter of the United Nations, as well as by the resolutions. Curazao is asking for intervention by the United Nations, so to convince the Dutch government of the fact that the conditions mentioned in the final agreement and imposing Curazao so to obtain a political status as a self-governing part of the Dutch kingdom are against all United Nations principles of decolonization, and we want to extend it. This is to the United Nations, and we are calling upon Comrade Dr. Ralph Goncalves, who is the current chairman of the CARICOM, the Caribbean Association of States, and also for him to make influence, him put on the agenda in general the decolonization in the area, which is something that the United Nations indeed had asked to do. And taking into account the experience with Haiti, before any smart person will come up with Haiti, let us talk about Haiti. Toussaint Louverture had asked for autonomie populaire démocratique, something like this. You see, autonomy, popular democratic autonomy. What did the French do? The French colonialists came down to seek to crush the Haitian revolution, and thanks to the wisdom of Dessalines, Pétion and others, they did not succeed in doing so. But Haiti had to face all sorts of impositions, all sorts of independence because of the abolish slavery. In the British territories, we know, 1833 to 1888, Britain was forced to abolish slavery, absolutely, in the entire area. There's no doubt about it. And what did I hear Prime Minister Percival Patterson say the other day before he left office? That it was time for us to say goodbye to the British Queen, because the Queen, as the head of the Commonwealth, which was a tolerant way of acting, of a cooperative way, a harmonious way of acting of the recently independent countries of the Caribbean, formerly British colonized, did not work. Bananas in crisis, sugarcane in crisis, agriculture as a whole in crisis, tourism is completely in shambles, run by them out there. What is left for them? The French is tightening up. What did they do? Close down all factories in Guadeloupe, Martinique of sugarcane, organize boomidom, Bureau d'Outre-mer, d'Immigration, etc., etc., which is a bureau to promote immigration from those farmers workers to France and get rid of them, and then whiten the country afterwards by sending over simultaneously and slowly but surely new European French people to come and occupy workplaces there in that sector. So are we to be confident that the Dutch will behave different when we have had the experience with them that they have converted the island into a slave trade, or first slave trade center, then thereafter crush liberation movements in 1750 and 1795, and then thereafter recently in 1969 sending troops to come and crush people's demand for improvement of their social conditions. This is something very serious, and we do believe that we cannot allow the Dutch and the local politicians, a parasitical type of capitalist, new developed capitalist class, a parasitical capitalist nature, as we repeat, to decide over the well-being of the masses that are running away anyway, being sent away to Holland to go and live and die there in Holland as expelled from their territories. That's 50% of unemployment of the youth, 23% of the total unemployment of the population, and heavy migration and high rising crime. To take this petitum into account, expressed by the people of Curazao, and not to let the Dutch only and those politicians only go on the table with you, but call all sectors to express themselves and to see that not recolonization will be the case, but reform of the entire social and political and economic system of the Curazao, Bonaire, St. Martin and Aruba. Well, I will speak for Curazao, most of it now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will keep you informed, brothers and sisters of the world. And I am Eugene Godfried, yours with love.